Hail everyone, this is Emperor Haterius, and welcome back to Pathfinder Kingmaker Definitive Edition for the PS4. We are resuming our play, and we are standing in our capital. There's a lot of people doing their thing here. We left off with the nymph asking us to meet her in her sacred grove.
We do it my way.
We have a few side quests left over at the moment to deal with, but we also have other pressing concerns with people in the capital, such as Casey, which I believe, or Kaesi, or however you say her name.
Onwards.
We were looking for her. She said she'd get a house in the capital. There's a house up here.
I lead. You follow.
She does not appear to be here.
I'm losing.
There is stuff to loot, though.
We do it my way.
Every little bit helps. Let's run down here, see if there's Rigongar and Octavia. Barn.
I won't be halted.
There's a rat problem. Needs to be dealt with. Looks like a refuse pile for beasts that were eaten.
Head on!
Someone doing their laundry. It's always good to see. Nobody likes running around icky
We do it
medieval fantasy trope outfits. I like this building. I like buildings like this where they get their roof and they build it to where the house is almost submerged, or sunken, or covered, I guess, overall, where they've got the grass growing on the top for insulation. That's always awesome to see in like European, Scandinavian, and I guess British would be another region you'd see that. So we're down here. That's the exit. There's another house over there. I can't read anything on that. Greetings, Your Grace, says the guard. The Baron himself. Greetings, Your Grace.
We do it my way.
Sounded like that was knocking. It's a locked building, though. It's not someone beating the door in.
Head on.
My place is my empire is lawful evil, because I'm lawful evil. So guards should be within the rights of following orders and keeping the place tidy, but there's always that aspect of the evil side
Everyone is mortal
coming
in
out.
this world, especially when I'm around.
She's not in there either. Another house. Let's run down here. Doesn't hurt to look for hidden stuff. There's another one of those houses. That's cool. Okay, I can't run around there.
We do it my way.
How are we doing on experience? Okay, so we just hit level 5, I think the previous session, or the session before that, at the end. 2 levels Thunder Color Bar, 2 levels Kineticist, Arrow Kineticist, 1 level Kensai or Sword Saint.
Let's move
in this
already.
game. Magus or Magus.
I won't be halted.
Magus. Oh! Well, there it is right there. Of course, I guess I knew. Tristan, Valerie. Tavern. Chickens.
I'm losing my temper. I lead. You follow.
Tristan smiles as you approach. Greetings. How may this humble chosen of the great Sarenrae help you? Tell me about yourself. About myself? I wouldn't know where to begin. Tristan pauses for a moment in thought. You know my name, my faith. I follow Sarenrae, and I have traveled from the Padishah Empire of Kalesh to here. What else do you want to know? Forgive me, but your manner and appearance... But from your manner and appearance, you don't strike me as a Kaleshite. Tristan smiles softly. You have nothing to apologize for. Truly, I have received my name and appearance from my parents, who had come to Kalesh from afar. I never knew them, for the fate had separated us when I was young. So I grew up in Kalesh, raised by the followers of Sarenrae. My home is where my heart is, within the temples of the great goddess, among the wise and generous men that took upon themselves the care of a child that was so unlike them. I learned mercy and patience at an early age, and it is these virtues that that have made me the man I am today. Do you enjoy traveling? Tristan nods. His eyes light up. Oh, yes. No library and no archive, however large, would have ever allowed me to learn as much of the world as I have in my journeys. It was only outside the temple walls I realized every living being is a world unto themselves, a world where many contradictions and passions coexist. Each realm leaves its mark on the lives that live there. Only by visiting it, by breathing the same air, walking the same soil, on the same soil, can you understand its people, what drives them, what frightens them, their dreams and how they honor their gods. Doesn't being outside the temple make you uncomfortable? Tristan shakes his head. There are many ways to honor one's gods, Emperor Haterius. It is true. Shrines play a role in the lives of many of the faithful, but even more find other ways to serve Sarenrae. The healing light values good deeds above all else. I cannot stand by and watch evil claim others. Tristan thinks for a moment, then raises an eyebrow. Perhaps that is another reason why I chose to go on my pilgrimage, leaving behind the temples of Kalesh. Tristan touches his chest. My faith is in my heart and in my hands. Millions honor Sarenrae in her temples, and my soul is filled with joy when I think of their devotion to the goddess. Nevertheless, my path is a different one. Do you know where you're going next? No. My thoughts were far from it, for my mission here is not yet done. Tristan stares at you in surprise. Why do you ask? Do you wish me to leave your lands? Let's see. I didn't mean to alarm you. That was not my intent. Tristan shakes his head reproachfully, but with a smile. You enjoy watching others' reactions, don't you? In this regard, we are alike, although I do not choose such sly ways to achieve this. Let's discuss something else. Tristan lowers his head. Forgive me if my stories have bored you. I am not accustomed to speaking about myself and, in truth, take little enjoyment in it. What can you tell me of Sarenrae? Sarenrae is the goddess of temperance and patience. Solar Flame Goddess teaches us compassion for the weary and mercy for those who go astray. What would you like to know of her? I'd like to hear about the history of your faith. There is much to tell, but I'm afraid I would miss the mark, and I fear I would bore you. Is there something specific you wish to know? How did Sarenrae come to be? Sarenrae is one of Galarian's eldest deities. Once, she was an angel that had gathered the armies of her celestial allies behind her. The battle in which she showed her valor decided the fate of a whole world, and, in her victory, she was rewarded with divinity. In the sacred texts, Sarenrae is shown as a beautiful bronze-skinned maiden, her hair dancing flame. Tristan smiles slightly. But her appearance is not what matters. It is the grace she brings with her touch, healing and salvation. Tell me about this battle you mentioned. What was the act of valor for Sarenrae? Her greatest moment of glory is her battle against the monstrous Rovagug, who threatened to destroy Galarian. Sarenrae delivered the strike that staggered the horrendous creature and allowed her allies to shackle it. Once the rough beast was captured, the goddess split the earth, and the gods threw the behemoth into the depths. Once it was done, the goddess sealed the pit, and commanded her faithful to stay away from the scar that was left in the land. Tristan falls silent for a few moments. Alas, mortal beings are imperfect. Not even the most faithful among us can always follow their deity's commandments, even when such commandments are meant to save the world and their followers. I, for one, pray the goddess is never again as furious as she was with Gormaz. You've mentioned Gormaz. What happened to it? Tristan sighs. An error of faith. Perhaps a lesson. But it speaks of the danger when one listens to mortal words and one stops listening to their faith. Sarenrae forbade her followers from coming near the place of Rovagug's imprisonment, but some of her priesthood misread her will and began to preach of a sacred place where the mightiest of temples dedicated to the goddess were to be constructed. The people listened to these sermons and went forth to the lands touched by Sarenrae's scimitar. On the scar that sealed the well, they founded Gormaz, a holy city that was to become the greatest monument to Sarenrae. Unsurprisingly, after the city was built, faithful from all Galarian traveled there to worship. Sarenrae sent omens and visions, urging her followers to leave this dangerous place filled with the dark will of the shackled Rovagug. But in their pride, the people misinterpreted or ignored her signs altogether, for they had already come under Rovagug's influence. Finally, the goddess sent her herald to the city, but the fanatics killed him. Realizing the people had turned from her, the enraged goddess smote Gormaz, raising it from the face of Galarian with a single strike of her scimitar. Tristan shakes his head. Today, it is called the Pit of Gormaz, as well a well of pain and suffering. Tell me about the Pit of Gormaz. Tristan shakes his head. It is a great crevasse in eastern Casmaron. The lands surrounding it are dead, soaked in poison. The Pit of Gormaz seems bottomless, until someone dares to gaze into its depths. All who have dared tell of a strange, distant glow, a glow that followed them in their dreams ever since. Throughout all of history, the Pit of Gormaz has spawned creatures, hideous beasts of overwhelming power and driven by only a single desire, to destroy everything they see. Some were defeated, such as the nightmarish Ulanat, whose carapace to this day towers above the capital of Usirion. Others proved too strong to be defeated by mortal hands. Tristan frowns. The most terrible of them all was the Tarrasque, the Armageddon engine, who to this day lies dormant deep beneath Aviston. Have wars ever been waged in Sarenrae's name? Tristan sighs. Alas, yes. Terrible battles were once fought between the followers of Nethys, Norgorber, and Sarenrae in the lands now known as Rahadum. Rahadum? To my shame, I must admit that this conflict was started by my brothers and sisters. They came to a foreign land to make way for the goddess's light with sword and fire. That calamity became known as the Oath Wars, a catastrophe that led the inheritors of Rahadum to deny all gods, banning all faiths from their lands. Alas, the mortal vessel is imperfect, and even a pure faith may be distorted by blind ambition. Tristan goes silent for a moment, and great suffering may occur in its name. Enough. I want to ask about something else. What are the teachings of Sarenrae? Solar Flame Goddess is the light of salvation, even to those who have been forsaken by the other gods. She teaches us mercy and forgiveness, for as long as they may be useful to his soul's salvation. You make it sound like the followers of Sarenrae will try to find good even in a bandit with a knife to their throat. Do not mistake compassion for weakness, Emperor Haterius. One hand of Sarenrae is shrouded in healing light. The other holds a scimitar. Following their goddess, the priests learn to wield this weapon starting in childhood, and they do not hesitate to use it if a dispute cannot be settled peacefully. Sarenrae preaches mercy, yet her compassion is not infinite. We give a second chance to all who ask, but if they reject it, if they persist in their sins, they will face the goddess's retribution. Are there any undeserving of mercy? Tristan blindly gazes past you in the distance for several moments. When he speaks again, his voice is quiet, reflective, as if echoing his thoughts. Undeserving of mercy. Would even Sarenrae herself find the compassion to... Tristan shudders, as if awakening from a trance. Forgive me. Your words, they are not easy ones to reconcile, and even priests such as I, we debate them to this day. What is the point at which a soul is irredeemable? Or is it a failing of the priests themselves? These are difficult questions you ask, Emperor Haterius. Questions wise men have debated for centuries. Does a being that has been tainted by evil to its very roots, that rejects its own salvation, still deserve compassion? Can those compelled to do evil by others still seek forgiveness? There are no easy answers. There are no easy answers on these issues among Sarenrae's followers. As for me, I believe that every soul carries the potential for goodness within. No matter the crime, the guilty may find forgiveness if they repent and cast off the evil that led to the deed. I believe this with all my heart, Emperor Haterius. Oh, now we've got a dialogue option where I choose to disagree with him or say something. I personally believe a lot of the times, realistically, if someone commits a crime and tries to claim that they repent for if it's like a heinous crime or something terrible, like a murder or heaven forbid, a rape or something like that, and someone comes clean about it or is forced to come clean about it, a lot of the times that's because they are under the influence of an external force, and a lot of the times it's not sincere. It's them trying to save themselves. Rather, which I would argue that they prioritize the act of saving themselves more than actually feeling regret or okay, it's kind of different. Trying to describe it the way I've got it in my head, and it's hard to put to words. They regret that they're put into the position where they have to repent rather than they regret the act, if that makes any sense. It becomes a moment of like melancholy because you're in the position of like you have committed this crime and now you are being dealt the punishment possibly. You could repent the crime or whatever, and they will, of course, nine times out of 10, say yes, I regret my actions, and then like it's usually so that their sentences are less severe or less lengthy, because that's the way the system, at least in my country, I see it a lot of the times, or I should say overall, like modern justice systems and stuff like that. This is in no way, shape, or form a like a commentary on like everything. This is me playing my fantasy empire. I believe that people will agree to repent to something after a horrendous act because it benefits them in that moment to do so. People can still be evil and sinful and murderers and whatever while saying they're not and that they regret and whatnot. So trying to find good in someone that has done something so severe, again, depending on the crime, I say I do not agree. There are crimes that cannot go unpunished. Possibly. Then again, this will change my alignment too, now that I'm thinking about it. Like a good way of doing that. Like, my statement is that it's not that they need to be punished. It's that the people usually only say that they repent or they are wanting to get receive the punishment so that they come out better for it. So I guess the statement, an abstract theory and little to do with real life, is more along the lines of what I was just talking about. So, again, recapping, I believe that every soul carries the potential for goodness within. No matter the crime, the guilty may find forgiveness if they repent and cast off the evil that led to the deed. I believe this with all my heart, Emperor Haterius. And then I say, an abstract theory and little to do with real life, because someone repenting while they may be put into the position where they can't commit the deed again, like they're forced into service somewhere and watched over because they are being punished, like community service or prison, or they've been put into the army or something, to where they are not able to commit these deeds again. They still, if they commit some heinous, monstrous crime, again hypothetical, they still are very possibly just trying to get out of a more severe punishment. So I'm going to say little to do with real life, because that's how I feel about it. Christian smiles faintly. I cannot argue with this, and nevertheless, I'll keep to my opinion. and that was a neutral response, so it gave me neutral alignment bump. And again, I don't mean to preach, or I mean I do mean to preach on my empire mainly, because this is my setting, but you know, it's a game with moral questions, and that was my moral answer. What are your duties as a follower of Sarenrae? My goddess strives to see the best, even in the dark gods. She never abandons the hope of their redemption. The priests of Sarenrae follow her teachings, akin to the healing light herself, who emanates warmth and heeds the call of those in need. We aid the suffering in body and spirit throughout Galarian. The priests of Sarenrae are willing to help anyone, no matter the faith of the one in need. Each plea must be heard. Every misfortune deserves compassion, be it a peasant seeking a blessing for the harvest or a murderer seeking repentance the night before their execution. Sometimes the mercy of Solar Flame Goddess is the last thing that can save one's soul from ruin. We have no right to withhold it from the truly repentant. I'd like to ask about something else. How is Sarenrae worshipped? Many worship Solar Flame Goddess in her temples. I don't like how they're... Interjection here. I don't like how they refer to her as Solar Flame Goddess rather than the Solar Flame Goddess, because in the context of them putting in that sentence, it should be the or capitalized. I don't know. I'm just freaking out here. Many worship Solar Flame Goddess in her temples. Some make the pilgrimage to the Everlight Oasis. But even those who do not serve the goddess directly rarely shun the festivities dedicated to her. The Sunrot Festival, for one. What are the temples of Sarenrae like? Sarenrae's shrines are often open to the sky and to the goddess's life-bringing sunlight. Her light fills the temple, enshrouds the parish in warmth, and grants its blessing to all in need. In Kelish, crowds gather during the services so that all may feel the blessing of the goddess. The most ingenious devices are constructed by some of the faithful to please the goddess. I have seen a temple of Sarenrae which housed a complicated array of mirrors, all to direct the light of the sun to the altar. It just sounds like people need sunscreen to be in these shrines to me. It's just going to be eaten up by the sun. Tell me of the Everlight Oasis. I have never been there, but the stories say it is a wondrous place, sacred to Sarenrae's faithful. The oasis is located in Zelshabar, which lies in Kazmaron. Pilgrims from throughout Galarian travel there, seeking the goddess's blessing. According to legend, the waters of the Everlight Oasis are imbued with healing properties, and anyone who bathes in them shall be cured of any ailment. Tristan smiles in thought. Just imagine, a place where people from all around the world come to gather to worship. What stories they must share. What is the Sunrot Festival? The Sunrot Festival takes place on the day of the summer solstice, when the prayers of her flock can reach Sarenrae the easiest. On this day, Kalash blooms with color. In each corner of the Padishah Empire, the people praise their goddess by dancing and singing, setting off fireworks, and flying kites. I hope this beautiful custom shall one day reach your lands as well, Emperor Haterius. That is all I wanted to know about this. I have heard enough of Sarenrae. If you ever wish to know more about the goddess, just ask. What brought you to these lands? I've heard rumors. They say these lands are cursed, and the curses are growing stronger, as if something is granting them power. I could not ignore such rumors. What curses are you talking about? Tristan cocks his head to the side in wonder. Do you not see? Every word uttered in the heat of an argument turns into a prophecy here, just waiting to fulfill itself. And if it were only for the people, the land itself is seething with curses so ancient their origins are impossible to trace. Take the abandoned temple of Erastil where we met. What happened to it? What force compelled the priests to leave such a magnificent temple behind to the whims of nature? Will we ever know? I myself was nearly slain by the beasts. Fortunately, you came along, following Yod, and saved me. I owe you a great debt. You've come a great distance, indeed. Tristan laughs heartily. When you look at it that way, then yes. But please, do not think that I came all the way from Kalesh because of mere curiosity. I was wandering long before that. It is a custom of our faith. The farther our paths take us, the more people we may help. Why did Yod see you in his premonition? Sarenrae sees all the good gods and goddesses as her allies. Many have fought alongside the goddess against the menace of Rovagug, Erastil among them. By offering my prayer to Sarenrae, I let her know of my misfortune in the Temple of the Elk. The merciful goddess did not ignore my plea. But whom could have she asked for aid than Erastil, whose faith is strong in these lands? Erastil had sent Yod a sign, and you came just in time to rescue me. Tristan sighs. To tell the truth, I was certain my journey was at an end, and those creatures were to be the death of me. You have spent much time here. What do you think the future holds for these lands? These are cruel lands. As I came here, I bore witness to much pain and suffering, but I have seen equal kindness among those seeking to protect themselves and their loved ones. The people of the Stolen Lands are resolute and true to themselves. I admire their strength. Alas, I do not yet know yet what powers the curses that flourish in this land. But I swear I will not leave until we have the answer and the means to cleanse them. You must forgive me for not swearing on Sarenrae's name, but as of late I have troubled the goddess too much as it is, and it would better serve her through action, not prayer. Let's change the subject. You called yourself the Chosen of Sarenrae. What did you mean by that? Sorry, that was a mere jest. Other acolytes at my temple used to tease me with that title. This should tell you how pious and devoted I was compared to them. And yet, my faith is strong. Sarenrae knows this and protects me in times of great peril. If something ever threatens my life, by her divine powers I am transported to a safe location. Huh. Alright, I should go. Tristan bows his head. A pleasure. Well, that was a very enlightening conversation. Let's do a save. Pretty lengthy, too.
All this waiting bores.
All this waiting bores me. Need a drink after that combo. Commander Fillmore.
We do it my way.
These people, they don't understand. They speak of other faiths, and yet they don't know the true faith is standing right before them. Looks like we have some soldiers with names. Highland. You see a stout man suited in well-worn armor. His face is framed with silvery stubble, and his fleshy nose is red and pockmarked. He radiates perfect calm. As you approach, he bows, respectfully and with dignity. Highland, Your Grace. Captain of the City Guard. A young dwarf girl salutes you awkwardly. Delia, assistant to the captain. Happy to serve, Your Grace. Highland, do the guards have everything they need? There are sufficient munitions and supplies, Your Grace. The salary is fair. We've enough to buy toys for the kids and a jug of beer when the shift is done. Of course, the town is growing. It would be nice to expand the ranks, but we can manage that ourselves. Oh no, sir. I will comment that I built 2 barracks in the capital to make the military a much higher priority. So don't worry. More men are coming. And women. I'd like to learn something about those who serve me. Of course, Your Grace. I've been a guard all my life. I started a snot-nosed runt in the Night Watch. Rostov is famous for its fencing schools. Young people from all the river kingdoms come to study there. It seems every other person has a sword, and every third thinks they know how to use it better than all the rest. A misspoken word or drunken fight can quickly lead to a stabbing rampage. That's why there are so many guards in the city, and they don't accept just anyone. Lady Jamandi took note of my achievements and marked me for advancement. That's why I'm here. As for Delia, I found her on the street. About a decade ago, I remember vividly, a tiny dwarf girl sitting on the temple steps, dirty face, barefoot, feeding a piece of bread to a stray cat. I saw her and my heart missed a beat. Mine would too. The captain looks away. Where she's from, who left her alone and why, only a rascal knows. As she grew, I tried to send her to learn a craft, but who can talk sense into a dwarf? She wanted to be a guard, and that's that. So now I'm teaching her myself. Lucky she has a head on her shoulders, and a fair bit of strength. It's always good to have dwarven stock guard women. I don't want to comment on the guards working for me because I don't want to put into question their jobs. Obviously, there's that aspect of like a lot of this stuff was provided to me by the Aldori or the Sword Lord Lady Jamandi and Restov and the other founding backers of this expedition and this barony. So I know there's a lot going on there. I have to go. Have a quiet shift.
Head on!
Not preferably.
I won't be halted.
Alright, there was an interacting here. An old prison, the one the Stag Lord was using for his wine cellar. Okay. So obviously there's been some rebuilding here. I'm wondering how much of the like infrastructure was actually kept. Okay, so we initially set out to speak with Casey or Casey or however you say her name.
I lead. You follow.
Hey, Commander, do you want to see my plaza? Because this is it right here. Disregard any of the clutter, but this is what the plaza item is if you're lawful evil. Obviously, you've got the flags too. You can't physically customize that stuff. It's based on your alignment. As much as I would love to be able to pick and choose stuff.
I won't be halted.
Underused is the best used. A woman in rich gold-embroidered clothes greets you with a polite bow. Her eyes, the color of molten gold, shine brightly in her dusky face. Greetings, noble ruler of these lands. My name is Arsino. I'm a messenger from the Temple of Abadar in Absalom, and I came here assuming the citizens of your young barony could use the services of a priest. What services do you offer? I can sell you various divine spell scrolls. They're quite useful, even if you don't have anyone in your party who can read them. While you're in the settlement, or indeed any place with a cleric willing to help, you need only open your bag and choose the scroll you wish to cast. I'll be happy to read it for you. However, take care out there in the wilderness. A scroll is useless without someone who can read it. To use a scroll on your journeys, you'll need a spellcaster whose magical training covers such spells, or someone skilled in magical devices. So that's the use magic device skill. And you need a caster, like a cleric or something, that could cast that spell. Otherwise, you can't use scrolls like that. Tell me about Abadar. With pleasure. Abadar is the god of cities, law, merchants, and wealth. The core of his teachings is simple. Law and order allow civilization to develop, which allows people to live in peace and prosperity. If Erastil favors old customs, small settlements, and simple trades like hunting, then Abadar patronizes development, complex trades, order, and entrepreneurship. Each priest of Abadar finds something personal in serving him. Some believe that law is the main aspect of their faith, and they guard it zealously. Others put the well-being of their society above all. I personally follow Abadar's teachings that say civilization must penetrate the wildest savage lands and help people live in comfort and safety. You're an Aasimar, if I'm not mistaken. I suppose it's easy to tell, isn't it? Yes, I'm an Aasimar. Though I'm not sure how or when the blood of Celestials appeared in my family. Among all my relatives and known ancestors, I'm the only one who inherited it. I must admit, I'm glad this lot fell to me. It draws more attention to me, a useful trait for a priest who wishes to gather a congregation. How did you come to be in my barony? That's a long story, and not a terribly exciting one. I was born and raised in Absalom, but I saw little point in staying there. What's the purpose in promoting the faith of Abadar in a city already so large and well developed? No, I was drawn to backwater places, where civilization was just beginning to emerge. It gives me such joy to see the first stones of a new settlement being laid, or to see wilderness that once harbored monsters and criminals become a safe, cozy home for people. I've devoted my life to my travels, choosing to visit places like your barony. Allow me to say, it's a place after my own heart. A city growing over the remains of a bandit lord's lair is exactly the sort of triumph of civilization Abadar prescribes. I hope my skills as a priest will be of service to these lands and their denizens. If you're so eager to help the citizens, why do you charge for your services? It's part of Abadar's philosophy. The rules of trade and exchange developed for a reason. They help bring order to our world, and they mustn't be broken without need. The opportunity to get what one desires for no effort has corrupting effect on souls. I have to go.
Head on.
Alright, save again. And we're going to go into Casey's house, which apparently is humongous. Well, I guess Abadar, commenting on you, Commander, who, for those who do not know, Commander is Babel in my D&D game. Shinare is Babel's goddess. Abadar's a pretty good pick. A tense silence hangs over the house. Casey, your tiefling friend, emerges from the shadows, but her eyes are staring into the distance. She seems to look right past you. No, not now. The turmoil is suddenly over, but you see fear in Casey's eyes. Her blue eyes. It's you! I wanted to say Uh, the thing about these dialogues is it changes my alignment. Because I don't want to be too stern with her, so I'm going to go with the chaotic good. Please don't be afraid. You can tell me the truth. What's going on? The girl closes her eyes and clenches her fists, obviously in the grip of strong emotion, but one you cannot read. I knew it couldn't last forever. Why did he even make this rule if he knew it would be impossible to keep? She takes a deep breath, opens her eyes, and speaks with firm resolve. Come what may, you should know, Emperor Haterius, that the person you know by the name of XII does not exist. My real name is Kalike, and well, it's a long story, and such stories are better told beside a welcoming fire. Will you hear me out? And then I could just choose to kick her out of my lands. Fine, let's go. The girl rests her head on her arm and stares off into the distance, lost in memory. Stories by the fire, in the desert where I was born. My fondest memory, when the day is done, hosts and guests, parents and children, friends and rivals, all gather by the fire under the stars to tell their tales. All they did, all they witnessed, all they heard from other travelers, and the whispers carried by the desert wind. My sister and I often snuck in to hear these stories, hiding in the shadows just beyond the circle of light and warmth. We are hellspawn, you see. Tieflings are unwelcome guests in Kadira, unblessed by the light of merciful Sarenrae. We grew up sleeping in a common tent, scavenging food here and there like orphans, all but outcast and disowned. We were 13 when we left and set off to find happiness in the cities, and everyone we left behind sighed with relief. My sister and I, we are twins, but as different as the sun and moon. Her name is Canera, which means silent flame. She is fire, a cold fire, but one that turns everything to ash. I am a river. It brings me joy to give water to tired travelers and nurture green shoots. But when I flood, I am bound to bring death. The girl's eyes are full of sorrow. Despite our differences, we are one. Our lives belong to divine Nethys, and by his mercy, we now live in turns. While one of us is here, the other sleeps in another plane, and when she wakes up, we switch places, just as you just witnessed. Ah. So this is why you didn't remember me when we were talking to Jamandi Aldori. How could I remember you? I'd never met you at the time. That was Canera. She was the one who talked to you at the reception and helped you fight off the assassins. We usually write each other notes, recounting in detail all that happened, and describing any friends that Casey had made. I guess it's KSE, but I keep saying Casey. But that time we switched right in the middle of a mansion engulfed in fire and filled with assassins. Canera didn't have the time to write any notes. And how is it you began to live in turns? Kalike lowers her head. This story, it's one I've never told to anyone before. No one in the whole world. And it's not easy to confide in a stranger. There's too much grief and guilt in it. If you don't mind, I'd rather not go into all the details. You see, my sister died, and I couldn't get over it. Canera was killed by a Soul Eater, a monster summoned by secret followers of Abaddon's archdemons. Those who summoned him died in the fight, but the beast was too strong for my sister, and I wasn't even there to protect her. Kalike catches her breath. We just had a fight, and we both did some stupid things just before, but I don't want to talk about that now. When I found out what happened to my sister, I was ready to make a deal with any power, if only I could just get her back. And I found such a power. I was contacted by the Arcanothane, the herald of the god Nethys himself. She promised she would return Canera to life, but on 2 conditions. First, we must both keep the arrangement a secret. Second, we would never be able to meet again. And so our new life began. Now we flee through the world, guarding our secret, always introducing ourselves as XII, to hide that there are 2 of us. And we switch places with each other at random. While one lives, the other sleeps in a demi-plane, one created specially for us. And you can't control these switches? No, we can't. They happen at random, most often while we're sleeping, but sometimes in broad daylight. That's why we can never stay in one place for long. When someone witnesses us switch, we usually tell them tales of a special magical way of traveling, but people start noticing strange things and begin to figure things out. Truth be told, I'm so tired of having to pretend. We knew this couldn't last forever, and now the truth is finally out. What's the point in all this? You revealed your secret to me. It means you broke one of the rules set by the deity's herald. Yes. Will you make me regret this, Emperor Haterius? I felt you might be someone who could help my sister and me change our fates. That's a lot. Neutral good. What can I do to help? That's actually what I wanted to talk to you about. Canera was supposed to tell you of an ancient treasury that we had been looking for. Gold isn't the only thing of value in this place. It may contain an ancient relic, taken by the Taldan raiders from a respected Khadiran temple of Nethys. It's an unusual relic, called the Disk of the Eclipse. I once heard a beautiful story that it was created from the shadow that hides the sun and the moon. But I don't think that could be the truth. Nethys is the god of magic, who was once a mortal wizard, and relics from his temples are usually very powerful. There are many among his followers who think that solving the mysteries of magic, even rivaling their deity, is the best way to serve him. One such follower created the disc, long ago in the distant past. According to legend, it gave its owners control over planar travel, but only pairs of wizards bound by unbreakable ties could use it. While one of them traveled the planes, the other was his anchor in our world, and they could switch between. Do you see now why we so desperately wish to find the disc? It might help us understand how the switch between me and Canera works, and it should make our divine patron happy. Nethys and his assistants value the desire to understand the mysteries of magic above all else. And how did this disc come to be in the Stolen Lands? It was brought here by Taldans from the 5th Army of Exploration. Taldor and Khadira were enemies for ages. Thousands of years ago, a soldier broke into the Temple of Nethys and stole the relic, to sell it, or secretly hoard it as an heirloom. Hundreds of years later, his own kin, or the kin of its 100th buyer, brought the disc to these strange lands, where the Taldans had come, uninvited, as usual, and which they finally vanished from with little trace. Sometimes, history is as intricate lace. You'd never guess where it begins and where it ends. Tell me about the location of the treasury. It was called Sorrowflow in the chronicle we read. It was once a Taldan town, founded by the veterans of the 5th Army of Exploration. It stood on the shores of a turbulent river, and that was what destroyed it. One night, a terrible flood devastated the settlement, killing many and driving the rest to flee. Only the tower on the cliff remained, which was too high for the flood to reach. Water covered the ruins for a long time, but last year it receded. My friends found a chronicle which recounted the destruction of the city and spoke of the disk of the eclipse which was kept there. They managed to track down the ruins, but were frightened away by the monsters and beasts that roamed the area. If this can help, then I agree. Kalike's sad eyes get a little warmer. Thank you. I will wait for you there, at Sorrowflow. And please, let's explore the ruins together, just the two of us. I don't want to give myself away again in front of your companions. Breaking the Arcanothane's conditions once was enough. I have no wish to anger our god. So long. Sorrowflow has been revealed.
We do it my way.
We do it my way. It's my way. It's my way or the highway. Doing another save because that's a lot.
No one stands in my way.
No one stands in my way. So overdramatic. Psychosomatic out of insane. She's got a large building here.
Onwards!
Very nice. Very nice abode. A locked...
I lead, you follow.
Locked lockbox, which because I don't have rogue levels, can't open. All right, let's look at our questies. Sounds terrible. Sorrowflow has been added to companion quests. Travel to the Taldan ruins. A mysterious tiefling will be waiting for the Baron at the place called Sorrowflow. So that was added to side quests, essentially. Yuck, yuck. We've already annexed one region, the outskirts, and we started our second settlement. Just random screams. It's what you get for getting a lawful evil settlement. You got people freaking out now and then because there's people with evil alignment going around while my guards are cracking skulls. What even was that woman just said? We got to go to speak with Davik Nettle and get our reward for killing the Stag Lord. What even is that language? The nymph wants us to go to her chambers alone. Let's actually look at our inventory. God, crazy women in the streets, apparently. How many potions we got? 86. Oh. So I gotta meet the nymph That does nothing for me, but it looks cooler. So I've got Cure Light Wounds. Do I have any stronger health potions? No, I do not. It's not great. How much money do I have? I spent a bunch of money on build points for the kingdom.
I won't be halted.
Let's check the status of the kingdom. Valerie's standing right there. She has nothing new to say.
We do it my way.
Yeah, let's check on the kingdom, see what pressing concerns we have, and make note of like what the timers are. The thing about going on adventures in the on the map while you are your own self and your party is that it makes the kingdom, it makes days pass, which connects with the kingdom turns, which is each day. At least in this game, it's kingdom passes day to day, and your events will time out and resolve themselves based on who you put on there. And then, like, sometimes you'll get to the point where you have to, let me make another save while I'm at it. You have to just accept what happens because you saved beyond the point of no return for an event that already gave you a result, but you're just not there to receive the result. So that's why I save scum this game so much, because these things could kill your empire, your kingdom, your barony. Because, like, stuff will happen and it's just complete disaster. People are dying all over the place and they're pissed off. And you can lose this. You can lose this game. Your kingdom could fall. As far as I can tell, because of issues with morale. And right now, I've lucked out by. Well, I wouldn't say lucked out. I save scum this game so much that I reloaded over and over until I got like triumphs for issues, but I just started my kingdom, so I haven't even hit the difficult stuff yet. Oh, there's all sorts of heroes and villains and stuff like that walking around in places like this, because this is still a vastly uncivilized region. It's called the Stolen Lands, Commander. And I have annexed the outskirts, which is the area you start in. You have a trade post. Oleg's trade post is in the outskirts. You come from the. I can't point. I was pointing at the screen as if you could see it, because I'm dumb. To the north of this highlighted area, Varnhold, is where you came from. The road to the north, and you go west into the outskirts, and that little dip into the outskirts right there with that road is where the trade post is. And then you head south, you do quest lines and stuff like that, and you make your settlement, which you can see there's my capital at the edge of the Tuskwater Lake. So I have my capital there, and I annexed through the region, the map section here, the outskirts where the outpost is, and I made a city, a settlement up here along the river to the northwest of the capital. As the farthest I could do, I could put that settlement down anywhere within like one of the flags that are on the map earlier in the previous streams. But I chose along the river for the sake of river trade, because there are building mechanics in this for more economy. So river trade and for roleplay purposes, in the as far as possible on that map to the left in the forest, so I can role play that I'm getting lumber and whatever resources I can get from the forest. Oh, there's monsters all over the place. They're all over. And right now I'm dealing with what am I dealing with right now? That was the question I started with. Let's see, there's an enchanted wind that largest observatory in the Five Kings Mountains broke on their main telescope. Enchanted lens broke on their main telescope. The destruction of such a powerful artifact caused a gust of enchanted wind, which is now moving towards a region of the barony. And then I'm having Yod, my high priest, research that. I'm having my mercenary custom follower, Pandemona, act as my treasurer right now. Some half-elf trading fabric in the capital discovered a loophole in the law which made it possible to avoid paying most taxes. The news spread quickly through the Merchants Guild. Measures should be taken immediately, or the treasury will take a loss. And I'm having my thuggish treasurer deal with that issue. She's a mercenary, so she gets a +0 because of her stats, the way I set them up. She'd get a negative normally if she wasn't spec'd for it. You don't get to pick where your capital is. Your capital is built over the stronghold of the Stag Lord that lorded over the region. Minor spoilers, but I'm in my 12th session of this streaming, so if you're not caught up. It's a magical telescope. It's a dwarven magical telescope for astronomy and stuff like that. Because it's dwarves in the Five Kings Mountains that are watching other nations develop through magical artificers stuff. You know, magically enchanted tech. Because this is a high fantasy. There's also high tech in this too, in terms of like some stuff. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So I have Flora, my capital. Let's go to town management just to look at it. Your capital is built over the remains of the stronghold of the Stag Lord, which is this huge bandit lord that was lording over the area, and that's your first major quest line. Looks like I still have some structures being constructed at the moment. What is it? My monument is literally about to be built. And my free shrine that I got is going to take 7 days. So you have a grid system. This is what I talked to you, Commander, about in our D&D, is that there are slots in a building setup, and each building has a purpose, and it also benefits other buildings depending on where they're placed. This is what I'm thinking about implementing in my D&D game. So I have, just to say it, I have a wooden wall, because that's the only thing I could build in that area. I have piers for economy through water trade, possibly fishing. I have a longhouse, which is in the center of this 3x3 grid. Oh, there's also a separate spot where I have a watchtower, and it could have been a watchtower or a windmill. I picked watchtower. But each one of these buildings has like community or divine or culture or whatever, and it also, if this were the actual tabletop, you could actually interact with this stuff and have interact with the NPCs and stuff like that. This is the only place where building the different aspects of your country matter, because it doesn't do anything in the actual tactical when you're running around the map. This is just for the map's sake and your stats for your empire or your barony. So I have Longhouse in the middle, and that Longhouse benefits a whole bunch of stuff. This is the I don't know, you'd say capstone, or just like the foundation of a good settlement. And each adjacency bonus is depending on the building. So I have a smithy, which is benefited by a military building. Actually, it benefits a shop, so I have a shop beside it. The shop is beside... Which one is this? A bulletin board. The bulletin board doesn't really need to have anything, but because I'm a lawful alignment, I unlock this. It has benefits of resolving problems in the region because you've got adventurers, you got soldiers, you got people taking care of issues amongst the townspeople and around the barony. I have 2 barracks because I want to have a higher military presence. So those get adjacency bonuses from being beside the longhouse. So I get more stability. I have, because I'm lawful, evil stocks, which gives another +1 to solving problems in the region, and it's limited to evil characters. Say shop is economy. I have monument, which is community loyalty, and it gets a bonus if it's adjacent to a shrine, which I just got a free shrine to Erastil, which is the community hunting and nature god. Great for farmers, hunters, and whatnot. Because this is a small. This is just the region for stuff like that. So that's my settlement. Longhouse, shop, 2 barracks, stocks, smithy, monument, bulletin board, watchtower, pier, wall. That's my capital at the moment, and I just started this kingdom. So I have my new settlement, which I took forever in making a name for. I went with the name Partum, which is Latin for outskirts, because it's the outskirts region. Partum has currently just a wooden wall and piers. Let's look at that map while we're at it. I don't have the build points, which is what you spend, which represents manpower, materials, and money invested in the region. This is what this slot system looks like for this region. I'm currently building a wall which spreads around the southern part of the map, right above the build and constructed tabs. And it's a little different because you don't have the 3x3. You have a 4x2 on the bottom, and you have just a 2 wide on the top there. And there's no special buildings for watchtowers, no slots for watchtowers slash windmill, so you don't get that extra military presence. So I'm going to save my BP when I get it, which, by the way, when you pop onto this tab, you can purchase BP with your actual money. It also shows your stats for your kingdom, your barony, based on what your buildings are. This currently adds nothing to my kingdom. That's why it's showing the +0 on the left, but total's the right. But yeah, you can invest your pocket money, your party money, into getting build points, so you can just get this stuff now. And you also use build points to spend on like doing the events that pop up for your kingdom with whoever your leadership is. You set leadership roles for each party member that you have, which I'll show you here. Your advisors, that's what they're called, such as regent, counselor, general, treasurer. This is what I have available, and high priest. Usually you just need 4 of these. You don't need a treasurer right off the bat, but I lucked out with the way I built my character, because this is a custom character. 3 of these are custom characters, so they're more or less built to take these positions, in addition to fighting on the map with me. And you set these advisors on tasks that popped up. Like, for example, the Yod, the High Priest, is investigating the enchanted wind that's blowing through the region because of that main telescope of the dwarves having busted. And then I have my treasurer mercenary thug chick, barbarian waifu, doing my taxes, dealing with tax code issues and stuff like that, because she's being the treasurer for the moment until I get another character that's better. So I have a couple more projects. You have events and you have projects, and one of them right now is spend 2 weeks resolving loyalty issues of the barony, which passes 2 weeks of time. It also takes away time when you do kingdom stuff. It takes away days in the tactical map that you could be doing to do timed quests like the one I just picked up with Kalike. If you don't do those side quests, the companions start to get pissed off. So I think I'm going to go try to do Amiri's quest if I can find an animal that I can fight with her. But I need to go do Kalike's quest, so I might do that first. I'm going to go ahead and back out of this, because the other projects are just something you can invest in. You don't need to do it. It's not an event. Events are usually timed. Projects are just going to sit there until you invest time into them and your resources. So I don't need to level up, which is what the 2-week wait thing was, is leveling up one of the statistics of my empire. I don't need to do that.
Head on!
Why did it sound like there was a... Oh, it was Ember the Red Panda, which is a premium thing for the definitive edition. The pet.
Onwards.
Red Panda. It sounded like there was a goat in there or something. It was the Red Panda. So... I don't think I went to the bar yet. I was going to go to the tavern and check that out. Let's go to the tavern and we got to talk to everybody first before we do anything, because I don't know what's going to happen if I just ignore stuff. It looks like a big tavern too, which again, I don't have any control over what buildings are in the main capital. I just have what's in the kingdom map, you know. So any of the stuff that you see me running around and going in and out of buildings, that's there by default.
We do it my way.
Pretty lively. It is a new kingdom after all. A lot of citizens.
I won't be halted.
Scattered ink stains suggest that Lindsay may have spent some time here. Lindsay is the bard that is writing her book.
I lead, you follow.
There's Amiri wearing this Stag Lord's helmet, skull helmet. She has nothing new to say. Talking. When will we do some monster killing instead? Amiri sighs and turns away.
We do it my way.
Some, all these chairs and you guys lean against the freaking support beams like a bunch of edgelords. Bunch of drunkards in my empire. Someone carved a body poem about the origin of the name of the Stag Lord. Yeah, this used to be the Stag Lord's fortress until I made it into my capital.
All this waiting for
loot there. So, talk to the barmaiden. Behind the inn's bar stands a young woman with curly red hair, a round face and rosy cheeks. She gives you a friendly smile, fixing her cap. It's so nice of you to stop by, Your Grace. I'm Alina, the innkeeper. Tell me about yourself. I'd be happy to, Your Grace. I love to talk, especially about myself. Where are you from? What land? Which family? I hail from the River Kingdoms. Our tomb, to be precise. I'm from a farming family, just like just about everybody from around there. There's more fertile land and pasture there than anywhere in the River Kingdoms, except for maybe Seven Arches. The folks who grow crops and tend cattle are well respected there, but at the same time they live in constant danger. There's too many bad people, too lazy to work all day, but don't mind taking other people's things. Why did you decide to become an innkeeper? I was bored. Please don't get me wrong. I was fine at Father's farm, and I've got nothing but respect for farmers' work. But in our back country, you could go half a year without seeing one new face. No news, nothing happening. I've dreamed of working at an inn since I was a child. That's the kind of place where there's always lots of guests and stories. Where does the inn's name come from? Oh, don't ask. It's too funny. I kept thinking about what name to pick, choosing just the right one. But not one to waste time, I drew a beer mug on the door. I figured folks would just see it and come on in, so the locals got used to calling the place the Beer Mug Inn, so the name stuck. Tell me about the River Kingdoms. A month wouldn't be long enough to tell it all, Your Grace. Each kingdom is a special place all on its own. Elves live in one of them. Another one, half of the country belongs to the Murderers Guild, and the other half gives them their orders. They say they even get locals discounts. There's just one thing that unites us all, like a strong thread keeps a quilt together. It's the 6 River Freedoms. The 6 River Freedoms? Yes, the first freedom, say what you will, I live free. It doesn't mean you won't get beaten up for what you say, though. The second freedom, well, if you can call it a freedom, oath breakers die. Those who break oaths get killed just like that, so people prefer not making any oaths at all. The third freedom, walk any road, float any river. Once the ruler of Hybar decided to build a gate across the river and collect a fee from each passing boat. Well, there's no more Hybar. The fourth freedom is even worse than the second one. Courts are for kings. Whatever a king says goes. Well, as long as he doesn't say to build a gate across a river. Now, for the fifth. Slavery is an abomination. Nothing to explain there. Runaway slaves from all over come to us for a reason. And the sixth, you have what you hold. It means that theft is a much worse crime than robbery, if you catch my drift. You can honestly beat a robber and keep what's yours, but a thief acts on the quiet. Shame on him. That's just disrespectful. Thank you, Elena. We will discuss it another time. I'm talking too much, Your Grace. Elena sighs. I should go. Come back soon, Your Grace. No one can treat you better than me.
Let's move already.
Trying to look at this. The Beer Mug Inn sign. Alright, let's check what's going on back here. To our Lord!
I'm losing my temper. Battles
Onions.
await. No one stands in my way. Let's move already. All this waiting bores me. I'm losing my temper. I won't be.
I'm not in the mood to talk. I don't feel well today. My stomach is on fire. I'm pretty sure the plums are responsible. Maybe I should have washed those plums before eating them, or not even stole them in the first place. Ooh, it's getting worse. Okay.
We do it.
That's
my
disgusting.
way.
I can't behead him if there's no head, Commander.
I lead. You follow.
So there's some random fairy dragon
Onwards.
flying around now. There's a second floor, too. Hey, there's Jathal. And I can't open that. That's our undead elven.
Battles
Couple books
await.
there for more lore.
We do it my way.
There's some armors I can sell. Diamond
No one
dust, that's
stands
rare.
in my way.
I think he ate an egg, is what happened. Writing on the wall, Aldori, crossed out. Sertova, crossed out. Beer,
I
underlined.
won't be halted.
Locked.
All this waiting bores me.
A lot of stuff I can sell, that's great.
I'm losing my temper.
Okay. I can't open anything else because I'm not a rogue. Wait. Nope.
Head on!
Alright, let's sell her all the stuff I took from her own establishment because that's how games work. I'm gonna keep the food so I can make stuff. Because you can cook in this when you're at camp. Sell that. Keep the silver powder just to do it. That's a lot of nuts. What did I do? That's a bufo. A disgusting concoction with toad poison added in. Drink of choice for goblins and other primitive humanoids. Okay, so it's just poison. Alright, so I'm gonna make 289. Oh, there's a kitty. It just becomes one big cat cafe. I wouldn't mind. Alright. So when you leave your settlement, it shows what the kingdom map looks like, how you built it. So you don't get to visit these buildings on the map. This is just what the map looks like. Alright, so we're gonna exit. Actually, we're gonna save right here before we leave, and then we're gonna go help Casey or Kalike and Canera. And we'll see how this works out. Oh, we're probably gonna level her up too. See, my usual party, you'll see here. Myself, Valerie's my tank, always. She's my tanky girl. I've got Amiri the Barbarian, who's a huge DPS. I have my mercenary custom character, Pandemona, who is an armored barbarian magus. So she's the other DPS that goes swinging a, what is it called? Bardiche? No, it's, what is it called? It's one of the pole arms that has a humongous crit range. And then I have Lindsay. So I have those two barbarians swinging away. Pandemona has magic added to her dossier. Lindsay the Bard is my support slash ranged slash targeter. I ranked her into a class that allows her to target an enemy with an ability that uses a minor action, I believe is what it is. And then she is able to support with her bardic music. And then I have my healer, who is a Ecclesiarch, Joan. And then I have my other characters here. So we need to take everyone out of this because I can't bring anyone with me for this quest. So I have to go alone, looks like, to a region. I have to go down the road. Oh, my inventory weight's too high. Stupid. I gotta go back to the throne room, drop some books off. I don't have the rest of my party to carry my weight, so my strength is not sufficient to carry all the crap I've got. I hate getting started to go somewhere and then I can't go. Because I have to wait for all the load screens now in between me dropping stuff off and the what would this be called? Well, the throne room. Obviously the throne room. What kind of a building would you call this? The keep? Oh yeah, I didn't sell this crap either. I'm just on a roll today.
Onward!
I've got armors I need to sell that are heavy. That's why, because hide is heavy. And I have multiple sets of hide armor. Oh, never gonna do anything this session other than talk. Scratch, 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 scratch. So, we are going to help Kalike slash Canera. We're going to go speak with Davik Nettle, the undead human that is waiting for us to tell him that we successfully killed the Stag Lord on his behalf. And he's going to reward us with a spear. An enchanted spear, I think. And that'll be another side quest done. And we also need to keep an eye out for another beast that Amiri wants to... Yeah. I don't know what the term would be for the building, though, is what I was saying. There's an actual term for a building of that style. And we are essentially within a fortress.
I lead. You follow.
See, this is the building. And it actually looks pretty dope. It's not a longhouse. Although I guess it could be considered a longhouse because of the way the building is shaped. Okay, I need to sell my armors. That's what I was doing. I didn't even speak to the... I didn't speak to the merchants. A young dwarf, red-haired, neat and surprisingly clean-shaven, stands leaning against a sledgehammer. He's busy reading some book. But as you approach, he looks up and bows slightly. Greetings, your grace. I am Verdell, a blacksmith. What can I do to help you? Tell me about yourself. What is there to tell, your grace? I'm a blacksmith. My father was a blacksmith. My grandfather was a blacksmith. And his grandfather, too. Besides, every one of them were remarkably fertile. So I have plenty of cousins, second cousins, third cousins, and all of them are blacksmiths, too. Pretty much all the weapons in Mivon were forged by someone from our family. That's why I moved away from the old home grounds. My skills are more useful here, that's for sure. You look a little unusual for a dwarf. Verdell sighs and runs his finger through his hair. You expect to see a beard, eh? No offense, but what's the point of a beard? Especially when you're a blacksmith and working with fire. You burn it once, dip it into lighting oil, and catch a spark from the forge, and your beard is history. You're better off without one. What are you reading? Verdell looks a little confused. Well, different things. It's nice to take a rest with a good book. Just now, it's Valor and Honor. 10 Adventures of the Splendid Willis Gunderson in Absalom. Alright, let's see your goods. As your grace wishes. We're going to sell the armor to this blacksmith. And I need to put up some of these items that I have on me too. Because I grabbed them for the sake of... I'm at 95 pounds heavy. Those items were 25 pounds each. Yeah, that hide armor's heavy. 25 pounds each. And all I can say to any my D&D players, including Babel here, is prepare for actual weight accounting in the next coming sessions and onwards. So I've dropped 50 pounds there. The tiefling girl looks as though she's made of springs. She cannot stand still for a moment. She nods her head, snaps her fingers, and taps her feet to an inner whirling song. Seeing you, she quickly waves her hands and breaks into a wide smile, and immediately starts jabbering. Your Grace, welcome. What'd you want? Scrolls? I have 'em. You won't regret it. My suppliers will bring more scrolls for sale if you manage to attract more mages to your lands. More mages, more demand, and more goodies for you. So go build them libraries, and we'll both profit from it. Who are you? Zarsi, the letter gobbler, at your service. The girl bows with a wide smile. Best spells, charms, jinxes, and hexes for the best baron across all the river kingdoms. Buy it all, and don't be stingy. You won't regret it. And I don't want to tell her to speak slowly, because I like her so far. Where do your goods come from? It's a family business. I've got siblings across all Mendev. They pinch every... they're very creative suppliers, and I sell it all. Get it now. Don't hesitate. My goodies are great. I bet they are. Show me your wares. Alright. She has scrolls. Lots of scrolls. I have a bunch of scrolls too. Should I mean, I kind of saved them so I can teach my characters these spells. Some of them I don't want though, because they do add weight. It's 0.2. Sell that.
I'm losing my temper.
Actually, well, I might as well. Scroll of Doom. I don't like the alignment spells because my character is a lawful evil character to begin with, so... And I have some chaotic and neutral characters in my party. Some of these are really good scrolls. Protection from evil. Scroll of Remove Blindness. That's a good one. Scorching Ray's good. Stone Skin, maybe. Summon Monsters. Good if I want to add more enemy or add more pawns I can use in battle against like a boss or something later. Scroll of Vanish. I don't do stealth in this game, like at all. I think that's everything I want to sell. Yeah. Lord's Hall, yeah, like you were saying. So that's Zarsi. Who's this? Hasuf?
Do it my way.
You see a dark-skinned, wiry man with a weather-beaten face and a happy smile on his face. He is dressed luxuriously, and his dark hair and neat mustache are exquisitely coiffured. The man bows to you, spreading his arms a little. Hasuf from Absalom is happy to welcome you, Your Grace. Come, take a look at the best wares we traveling merchants have to offer. Please, come, take a look. Tell me about yourself. My pleasure, Your Grace. The merchant smooths his mustache and commences his story with an air of importance, speaking in a sonorous voice, gesturing wildly. Hasuf's family was not rich, and he, as many in Absalom, had to start from the very bottom. As a child, while his peers chased pigeons and stole apples at the market, he worked at a tannery. Oh, I can still smell this disgusting stench. The man pulls out a heavily perfumed handkerchief and waves it in the air. Ahem. Well, the young apprentice worked hard, saved every coin, and soon managed to purchase that tannery from his former master. Then, as soon as he had enough money, he opened his own trading company, a trading agency. After 10 years, countless deals, and many tours in his caravan, Hasuf was one of the most successful merchants in Absalom, thus writing his name indelibly in the history of the great city. The merchant looks at you with pleasure. Well, how was that? I'm looking for a writer so I can dictate my memoirs. Haha. I think many would find it interesting and useful to learn more about me. What is the secret of your success, Hasuf? There is no secret. perseverance, strength of character, attention to detail, the gift of persuasion, charm. All this, among many other things, are key to success in my profession. But if I did have a secret, who would I be to share it with anyone? The merchant laughs merrily, his hands rubbing his sides. Why did you leave Absalom, the center of global trade, for some young barony in the Stolen Lands? This is a long story. I don't think your grace would be interested. Come, come, tell me why you left Absalom. I insist. The merchant groans theatrically. Very well, as you wish, your grace. It was about a woman. When I was still young, I fell in love with the daughter of a judge, an important person in Absalom. For many years I tried to win her heart, but she was cold as stone. I should have given up, but this is not in my character. In the end, I did manage to win her love, but I was unready for it. Hasuf swallows and rubs the back of his head. As Abadar is my witness, the flames of hell burn inside this woman. I could not live with her for even 6 months. Tenderness and passion one day, screaming and scandal the next. Sometimes she would break into my office during business meetings to make a jealous scene, and sometimes pulled me by the collar from the finest taverns in town. I couldn't sleep. I was nervous all the time, and it started to affect my business. I realized there was nothing else to do but run. Leaving her and remaining in the city would be impossible, even in such a city as Absalom. I decided never to return, and I still fear that wildcat of a woman will follow my trail. Hasuf stops talking and stares into space without blinking. Although sometimes, after a couple of jars of wine, I still remember her. Perhaps it was I who unleashed this tornado in her, if somehow I'd behaved differently. Let's see what you have. Expensive potions. Ring of Protection +2 is pretty good, but I don't want to spend all that money. Ah, yes. Some great items here. Bag of holding. 25,000 gold. Bag of holding opens into a non-dimensional space. Its inside is way larger than its outside dimensions. Regardless of what is put into the bag, its weight doesn't change. This allows party to carry additional 200 pounds of weight without suffering any negative consequences. There's rope. Let's go ahead and buy that and a crowbar, because I don't know when we'll need something like that. There's build points you can buy directly from this guy. Inflict. Oh, okay, so this is how you heal your undead character. Inflict moderate wounds. Potions. Kinetic diadem. I'm a kineticist, so this is something for me. This diadem increases the damage dealt by kineticist simple energy blast by 1d6 points, and by kineticist simple physical blast by 1d6 plus 1. So this would be something that I could wear and increase the damage of my energy blast, which is great. Why in the world do they have 1,000 quarterstaffs. That's ridiculous. Let's go ahead and, well, no, we're going to give that Cloak of Resistance to Kalike when we go to her. I want that kinetic diadem, but I'd have to constantly switch that out in between like dialogue and attacks, but I guess it's fine as a, thing I can do. I don't have anything I want to sell to him, so that's everything I can put away or sell. I'm going to put away my extra stuff in the Lord's Hall, the Baron's Hall, the Longhouse, the throne room of this building. How long have we been going so far? Probably a long time because of all the dialogue. About 2 hours. We're gonna get some quests in today, eventually.
Let's move.
Once I can get my act together, but this is an RPG with inventory management and kingdom management and dialogue. So the usual.
Onwards.
The usual issues. Let's put away Tartusio's present because I don't trust him. Let's put away the broken charm. Let's put away the savage bow. The animal hide I'm keeping in case there's some reason to have hides for crafting when I have artisans. Everything else I'm keeping on me in case I need them. I like keeping the golden toad in case that pops into relevance, because I pulled an Indiana Jones and replaced it with items and the toads didn't attack in the previous sessions. Let's save once more and then we're gonna get going. Hopefully. Hopefully.
We do it my way. Everyone is mortal in this world, especially when I'm around.
So I'm gonna do something probably stupid, which is run out alone into the wilderness. But, I'm meeting with Kalike. I gotta go right there. Hopefully I don't get ambushed. If I do, oh well. I really don't like Rigongar. I like his abilities because he's a magus. Magus. But, like, his art is cool, I just don't like the character. Okay, we are on the map, so time will pass when I move now. So, they want me to go to the Bald Hilltop too, forgot about that. That's the Verdant Chambers for the Nymph. She wanted me to go there alone. Sorrowflow. Oh, that's all the way over there. Let's follow the path that we know. Oh, well. Let's go visit Davik Nettle. Let's get his reward. And on the way there, well, we're going to Sorrowflow, but on the way there we're going to visit Davik Nettle. Davik Nettle is a man that was killed by the Stag Lord and his bandits because he built a bridge. He built a bridge across a river cliff face, and he collected tolls peacefully from people who crossed so that he could continue to keep the bridge functioning. And the Stag Lord and his bandits attacked him.
I won't be halted.
But the man had dogs. The man had dogs who scared off the bandits, and the Stag Lord came back. Or at least the Stag Lord came with the bandits this time, and they riddled him with arrows, killing him, knocking him off the bridge.
You follow.
Yeah, 5 coins to cross the river. It's not a terrible price. There he is. He wanted revenge. Stag Lord is dead. Pharasma awaits. Farewell, Emperor Haterius. And then it unlocks a new event for the kingdom. Research into the nature of curses. Example, Davik Nettle. 300 experience. The corpse crumbles to the ground. When the Stag Lord's blood spilled on the ground he'd defiled, we weren't the only ones to sigh with relief. We vindicated many innocent lives that a cursed bandit had extinguished before we arrived. Alas, we know only of one of his victims' names. Rest in peace, Davik Nettle.
No one stands in my way.
Short spear, a magical short spear.
Let's move already.
Short spear +1. Awesome. So, let's replace my other short spear I've got on my back, which represents what I've got in my current Pathfinder tabletop game. Let's actually switch to that. That's cool. So I got a +1 short spear. That is a D6 piercing +1. 3 to 8 damage when equipped. It's not as much as my Masterwork Bastard Sword, but I still like to have it because that's what my character has in my tabletop game. So I'm going to put that on my back. I wanted to look at it. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. I put his soul to rest by killing the Stag Lord, and I told him about it. So let's continue on our path. I'm going to do a separate save once we get to the map.
Onwards!
Because I like to save scum. Who knows what's going to accost me on my way to Sorrowflow, which is not that far away. But it's still across the river and in another province, officially. I would like to rebuild the roads too and stuff, if that's an option. Like, rebuild that bridge. It's a crossing. That's always something I want to do is build up infrastructure. Make sure my people have all the infrastructure they need. Make sure my armies can move across lands easily. That's even more important to me. Oh, going the wrong way, man. How do I go to this other province?
I require rest.
You may stumble upon a resource area in your travels. To reap its benefits, you need to claim the region. It says this is available for claiming. Okay, we claimed it for 15 build points. So we just got a +2 military benefit for getting a high ground. A place called High Ground. It's an old outpost. Time and weather have left their marks on the walls of this old outpost, but it still seems to be in pretty good condition. So I just manned this outpost with my empire. So let's take a rest. I'm the only one that's in this party. Why would I... Okay. I also have no rations. So I gotta cook my own food. Might as well. Oh, I gotta hunt my own food. It's the only thing I can do. Don't even get to cook it. I'm gonna get attacked. I know it. I just rested alone in the outskirts. Okay. Let me go to Sorrowflow. Oh, that's across 2 rivers. Technically 1 if I can cross to the north, but I can't because that's an area that you can only go to Restov, which is the starting city. Oh, I gotta go all the way into this region. There's no crossing. Can I rebuild Nettles Crossing? Also, while you're in your main province, you can go to your kingdom management stuff. It says there, it tells you how long you've got for your events that are currently ongoing and stuff that's going on. So I've got 6 days left for that enchanted wind. Let's go down this way. I thought I could cross over. So my empire just went down to the worried state. My people are worried because we have no new events. I guess it's because we just haven't. We've been dealing with issues. Okay, now we're in the commie lands. Yeah. It just does not bode well for being alone out here. Every day that we have to spend resting. There we go. There's someone on the road. Get ready. It's not even... Oh, this is supposed to be special. Oh god, what if it's a battle? And I'm all alone.
I'm superior.
Oh, it's just a random jaguar eating me. There's someone on the road. No, they're outside my camp. Ferocious leopard. Awesome. Oh my god, there's 4 of them. And my character is exhausted. How could this happen to me? This is also a surprise round. Apparently I have the surprise. I don't know what you want me to do about it. I want to get eaten. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. Oh my god. Flurry of blows. I just lost half my health in one turn.
Heal me quickly. This is not the end.
Because that's fair. Well, I still want to grab that military outpost when I reload, because I saved after Davik Nettle. Pretty sure I did. We'll see. I need to go north to grab that outpost because that's +2 to my military. That's a military output. Oh. Oh, it's not counting the encounter having started yet, so I can do an attack preemptively.
I am superior!
What? Initiative check -1. Why am I proned? Did it just reset the entire encounter? Nope. They're just not there. And they get advantage. Or they get bonuses for attacking me while I'm downed with melee. What is this? Let's not deal with that. Let's not. Please not. Please no. Not like this. I just wanted to go to the Sorrowflow and help the multi-personality tiefling waifu. Okay, so we did do that. Go north, grab the outpost. I have the high ground now. Resource claimed. No, keep going.
I require rest.
I require rest. My unrest has become worried again. Nothing new. Don't do it. Keep going this way. Quick save. Now, doing this...
I require rest.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Try to avoid. He failed to sneak past the enemies. Oh, and I didn't rest. I pushed myself to exhaustion so I can get right beside the area. Alright, we can do this. If it's bandits, I'm pretty confident. It's a... What is that? A primal manticore. Wow. How about you 5-foot step out of my face? I'm gonna shoot you in the face with an electric blast. And I miss. Because why wouldn't I miss? Yeah, about that. There's a hit. This like does nothing to this thing though. Oh. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, can you not?
Out of my way!
And I missed because concealment. Somehow concealed. It's got some effect.
But this is not. Yeah.
That's what I get for not sleeping. I get a manticore slashing me down. Hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. Getting cut down in my prime by a very cloudy manticore. Try to blast someone in the face with lightning and it doesn't hit them. That's why that kinetic diadem is something I need, but 18,000 is a huge price for such an item, and it's a lesser kinetic diadem. I hate to think of what a normal one would be, or moderate, or whatever it would be called. Note to self. Have more patrols on the road. I know I have no control over that whatsoever other than adding military to my stats. But still. Then again, that wasn't in my country. That was in another region. Come on. Yeah, that's in Varnhold. That's Magar Varn. That's the mercenary captain's region. Quick save. That's the guy that I met at the banquet of my crowning. Huh? Alright. Quick save again. Okay. Let's check our status. We have no effects or conditions on us. Kalike smiles faintly as you approach, but you can't help but notice that she's as tense as a bowstring. 3 young tieflings wearing bright clothing, the sort one might find in a harlequin's wardrobe, are gathered near Kalike, fidgeting from foot to foot. They bow simultaneously. The youngest casts you an inquisitive look. So this is the patron you found, elder. The baron of this land. And to think that Canera used to say that you don't know how to make connections. Oh, oh. The short-haired tiefling girl steps on her friend's tail. Stop it, Naiho. Don't you see what you're upsetting her? Forgive him, elder, and you too, your grace. When Naiho was little, a donkey knocked over his crib. His horns got caught on its saddlecloth, and he was dragged for half a block, bumping his head on every corner. Now he's no more clever than the donkey. Kalike stomps her foot, drawing their attention. Sweet teeth, that's enough. You're going you're going right back to the city. The Baron and I need to talk in private, and we're going to the Talden Tower without you. It might be dangerous. As you say, Elder, the last of the three tieflings who had kept quiet until now nods and gestures to the others. We'll go to the city. We'll see if the three-tail swinging goofs like us can find gainful employment around there. If you decided to settle down in these parts, maybe we can find a place here too. Goodbye, Your Grace. Please remind me, what is this place and what are we looking for here? As they run off. It's an ancient Talden settlement, long ago ravaged by the elements. They used to mine ore in these rocks. Little is known about what happened here, but according to rumors, a terrible flood devastated the town. Many citizens perished, the others fled. Only the tower remains, standing on the cliff. The flood wasn't able to reach it. The tower may still hold substantial riches, and among them, the Disk of the Eclipse, a relic from a Khadiran temple of Nethys. That's what I'm looking for. Who were those three tieflings? My friends from Khadira. Their names are Naiho, Tevi, and Elki. But I usually just call them the Sweet Teeth. They're always together, and always act and speak in chorus. It was they who dug up the history of this place, and told me of the treasury. But they never got inside. They say there's a lot of dangerous beasts ahead. Kalike sighs. I'm happy that at least someone from my past life hasn't abandoned me. But they make me anxious as well. The Sweet Teeth know nothing about what happened after our escape. They think Canera died, and I adopted a strange new name to hide from my past. But they know me and my sister well, and they could easily uncover the truth. That would breach Nethys' first condition. That's why it would be better for all of us if we met as rarely as possible. Besides, Canera nearly fed the poor Sweet Teeth to wild animals, though it seems now like ages ago. What's our plan? There must be a cliff somewhere ahead, where we'll find the remains of the tower. We'll need to climb it and search the ruins, and be ready for trouble. One can never be too careful. Well, are we ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Kalike nods gratefully. Thank you. I'm glad I don't have to walk this road alone. Well, I just had to walk a road alone, and it was pretty lively, I should say. That doesn't look friendly. These look like elementals down there. Alright.
Please, do tell.
I don't think I have to level her up. She's level 5, and she's a level 5 kineticist. Awesome. So she's a water kineticist. Interesting. So she has Water Blast, which is a physical ranged attack.
I can help.
I won't be halted.
Ask, and I shall answer.
She has Shroud of Water. And she has Water Kinetic Blade. Okay, so
All this waiting bores me.
she's a kineticist like me, but she does water instead of air. She has a physical ranged attack, and she has a melee water element attack with her kinetic blade, which is made from the element you use, which is water for her.
We do it my
So she's going to be a ranged character. Ideally. Oh, she has a bow. Wait a minute. What if I equip
Battles await.
Oh, those are great fanged toads. Well,
Let's move already.
But of course.
something is wrong. I feel a disturbance in the element of water.
No one stands in my way.
I feel a disturbance in the force. Alright, let's do an electric blast at this ferocious slurk.
Let's make this quick.
And I hit him for a pretty solid amount of damage. Given that it's a D6, it's still pretty good.
Taste my fury.
Oh my god, she just did 22 damage with that? Well, hold up. 22 damage? How did you do 22 damage? Dexterity is what you use for that. Oh, it's because it's a physical blast. Physical blasts are different. Let's look at it. I use energy, an energy blast, as opposed to her physical blast. Does bludgeoning. Does deadly aim work for that? Wait a minute. Ranged attack rolls. Theoretically, yes. Deadly aim. At least by this standard. -1 penalty on all ranged attack rolls to gain a +2 bonus on all ranged damage rolls. Physical and energy blast are both ranged attacks. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. Okay, let's look at the kinetic blast, which is the ability. Each simple blast is either a physical blast or an energy blast. Mine's energy, hers is physical, because water is physical when it hits you. Mine is electricity or lightning, so that's an energy that hits you. Physical blasts are ranged attacks that deal an amount of damage equal to 1d6 plus 1, plus the kineticist constitution modifier, which is for her, a +4. Oh my god, that's already a +5. Lost my place. So 1d6 plus 1 plus the kineticist constitution modifier, which is +4. Increasing by 1d6 plus 1 for every 2 kineticist levels beyond first. So she's a level 5. So she's doing 3d6 plus 3 plus 4 at level 5. Spell resistance does not apply against physical blasts. Oh, I'm so outclassed by this, by a straight up kineticist. I'm a multi-class character. I'm level 5. I have 2 levels of kineticist. I haven't even reached my second d6. Mine, however, is an energy. My ability is an energy blast. It's a ranged touch attack that deals an amount of damage equal to 1d6 plus half of the kineticist constitution modifier, increasing by 1d6 every 2 kineticist levels beyond first. Mine is much less damage because of just the way the energy blast works. Every 2 levels beyond first. I've not reached level 3 kineticist. So I only have 1d6. While she's dealing 3d6 plus 3 plus 4. So she can do 25 damage with my slow math in my head. That's 18 from her dice. 21. Plus another 4. It's 25. She can do 25 maximum damage in that hit. She did 22 with that last one that she just did. I'm jelly.
This is going to hurt.
Sorry, I had to go on that tangent. I'm doing piddly 1d6. And my con, whenever I do hit, because I just missed again, your blasts are dexterity based. They're ranged attacks with dexterity. My dexterity is trash at a +2. My con is +3, so I'm only getting a +1 added to my damage. So 1d6 plus 1. Again, she's getting 3d6 plus 3 plus 4 because of her con mod of 4. And I'm thinking about my tabletop character now and like how underclassed I am, because I'm a multi-class on that too. I'm basing it on this character that I'm building.
Cool it.
All this waiting for.
How much damage was that? 19 damage out of 25. I just need her to be with me and blasting things. That plus she can become a water healer, because water kineticists can get the the wild talents that allow you to heal others.
Enjoy your final moments.
Of course, I don't like the idea of me being unable to put out a lot of damage. What just happened? Hit me with slime squirt. Slime squirt. I have... What is that condition? A slurk's back is crusted with thick, dry slime and dozens of nodules. As a standard action, a slurk can, at will, squirt a jet of slime from one of these nodules as a ranged touch attack against any target within 30 feet. The slime quickly hardens to the texture of cold tar, entangling its prey. So I'm entangled with nodule pus. That's disgusting. Two damage. Amazing.
Cool off.
18 damage. Don't get in my face.
Out of my way!
8 damage. Pretty good hit. Really good out of the D10, yeah. What is my strength at? My strength is a +1, so I'm only getting +1 to my attack and damage. So I need you to 5-foot step, range
Taste
attack.
my fury.
And you missed. Ooh, 7 damage against me.
Run them through!
4 damage.
This is going to hurt.
18.
Let's hear you cry.
And I missed. See, it's difficult because I'm not built. I'm very subpar built.
Cool it.
Like, I'm wanting to be a kineticist slash magical swordsman slash bardic swordsman with you know the way it's going. And my stats aren't great for most of this. But I don't like the idea of min-maxing one stat when there's so many things that I want to be able to do, especially since I'm a freaking barren and charismatic leader of this empire. I gotta have high charisma, which is great for bard abilities, but I only want the bardic abilities to be supportive overall, except for when I get higher level, when I'm able to call down lightning and stuff like that, and then I'm really going to shine. But right now, my main mode of attack is the kinetic electric blast and melee, and whatever I need to use as the situation dictates with my magic. I'm just not doing great. Ooh, that was a max damage slice right there. At least no, 11 would be max damage with my modifiers.
Taste my fury. If you wish.
Alright. Let me get some healing on. Use. Okay.
Battles await. Onwards! I am superior!
Blast him.
This is going to hurt.
18 damage. Good hit with a 5.
Cool it.
Run them through!
Miss.
Cool off.
Miss.
Let's hear you cry.
Oh, I keep missing. They don't.
Taste my fury.
Oh my god, he gibleted with water. That's great. It's disgusting also. Come on, blast this guy. Blast him. Good hit. 4 damage. I know overall I'm not going to do a great output in my tabletop version of this character. But again, tabletop has so much more available compared to video game, where I'm built on the tabletop with this same class design, except for me taking the extra level of kineticist like I argued about previous sessions. I'm built for social encounters, in addition to what I want to use combat-wise as much as I could as a multi-class. It's just I'm not going to be great at damage.
Cool it.
Which, again, that's what my party is going to be for and what it is for in this game. Both tabletop and in video game. But I'm not going to excel at it. In situations like this, or earlier, honestly, when I was being ambushed multiple times by manticores and freaking leopards eating me while I'm laying in bed. Always a great visual gag there. I'm not great on my own in combat, but I do want to be able to hold my own until I can get support or talk my way out of situation. See, that's a cool effect right there with that. That just did. How much damage did I do? I did 7 damage. Yeah, 7 damage. Electricity. Love it. One more enemy.
Cool off.
Yeah, I want to be able to talk my way out of a situation just as well as shooting lightning at people, which is another huge trope to my character build. Is I love the lightning element, electricity element. So I build around being a kineticist, a thundercaller bard, and because I want to be able to use a sword. Specific swords and weaponry, I go with the Magus, which adds magic to swordplay. So I can use the spells from that and be an awesome sword user. Specifically, the Sword Saint, or the Kensai as it's actually known in the tabletop, where you specialize in that melee weapon, so you're even better.
Taste my beauty.
So the Kensai, Sword Saint Kensai, being able to go 4 levels into that, I can use an arcane pool, which I'm given as a class feature, to which has points in that pool depending on my abilities, ability scores. I'll have pool points that I can spend to maximize my melee weapon damage when I hit. And that's the other big thing about my build. It's just like whenever I have to get into melee, I want to spend that point and just do max damage with that sword that I'm going to use, or whatever weapon. But I'm going to prefer sword, something like a bastard sword or larger, or weapon of that size. Specifically, I want to have a katana, and I think it'd be nice to have a gladius too. That'd be cool as a secondary weapon. But again, they don't have special things like that in this game because what is the region called? The Tian Sha or Tianzi, whatever the region of the world is called, has all the different Asian analogs, like the Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Siam, regions like that. They have countries that are the analogs for each one of those countries in our world. And
is going to hurt.
My character, at least in my headcanon, has ties with characters that come from Minkai, which is like the Japanese island archipelago, and it's supposed to be like a scribe. He's supposed to be like a scribe that has been in contact with people while caravanning. And that's the story between with my current tabletop version. He's a traveling scribe until he roots himself. And this is a really cool way to have different languages and whatnot, and access to cultures and stuff like that. And that's why I go along the lines of being influenced by a Minkayan woman and other people I traveled with, to where he wants to have a weapon like she had, which was a katana.
Cool it.
I'm rambling while I'm trying to finish this battle. There's just one enemy left and I'm not focusing, but that's my story. My story is he's been influenced by watching this woman train, that he wants to have a sword like that one day. Of course, it's not available in a game, in this video game, as opposed to the tabletop. 3 damage.
Cool off.
She has missed multiple times. So have I. And a gladius is a gladius. I love everything. Well, not everything. I love most things about the Roman Empire. A lot of my stuff is based on Roman Empire
Taste my fury.
history and nomenclature. And that's a battle that's over. Water elementals whirl anxiously but make no move to attack. Kalike is obviously commanding their attention. The creatures' bodies ripple, and they freeze and face the girl. This is what I felt. These creatures. We belong to the same elemental force. The girl leans forward. I could be wrong, but I feel they are seething, as if yearning for freedom. They cannot leave, and they've been trapped in this place for a long time. An incredibly long time. I use my detect magic I get from one of my class skills to examine the elementals and the magic seal. The seal has a strong aura. It appears as though a magical trap has tied the elementals to this place. Water elementals at a settlement that perished from a sudden flood. Kalike's eyes are full of sorrow. Yes, it seems that someone used them to kill the Taldans, and then just abandoned them here. But who? Who would use such powerful magic only to kill some simple miners? The past hides so many secrets. That was hundreds of years ago. What will happen if we set the elementals free? Could we? I doubt they would attack. They suffer here, under the ruthless sun, far from their elemental forces. They seem happy to me, and are pleading for help. 1 second, guys. All this dialogue, this session's working on me. Excuse me. I understand. Let's see what we can do. Let's do a save for one. I might have to,
No one stands in my way.
I might have to call it after this encounter. Getting too much for my voice. I've been talking so much. And I did just get off work, so I'm kind of tired. Of course, that was hours ago now. Let's see. There's treasure over here. Okay, there's a stash here.
All this waiting.
There's a shared stash here, so that means I gotta put something here. Dare I say... Dare I try the herbs again? Do I have herbs to give? No, I gave those away. Oh crap.
I'm losing
Wait a
my
minute.
temper.
Why is my cat not in my inventory? He helps me. Get back in there, Tiger.
Let's move already. Battles await.
They give me buffs passively.
We do it my way.
One gives me plus morale bonus to saving throws, and the other gives me plus 2 morale bonus on perception and lore nature checks, which is some of my class skills. Okay, there's an athletics check, looks like. So we took everything out of that chest. We're supposed to put something in there, I'm sure. Kalike throws back her head and looks upward. Up there. There's a tower there, on the cliff. It would be difficult to climb such a steep slope. Kalike gives you a pensive and sad smile. My sister and I used to climb cliffs together. She was so angry when I was faster, but she always helped me when she got ahead. Oh. I could use my rope. Use the rope. Kalike climbs the cliff with the dexterity of a lizard, but you go stride for stride with her, easily keeping up. Soon the top of the cliff lays before you. Items lost. Rope. Always good to buy ropes when you can, guys. That way you can reduce your checks. Especially if you're not an athletic character and you're alone. What a beautiful place, and cozy. The cliffs seem to embrace this place. And a waterfall. Now I see why the Taladins decided to settle here. I'd live here too.
I won't be
You know,
haunted.
I would rebuild this city. I would rebuild this city under my banner. The Taladin Empire, which is what essentially is compared to the Roman Empire of humans, is a great influence on me in this game.
Follow me.
Oh my goodness. It's a gargoyle. I didn't know I was going to be watching gargoyles today. It's been so long since I've seen that. I want to be that guy, but
I am ready.
blast him.
You asked for it.
Oh, you missed. Five, that's a good one. It's already my... Oh, it was a surprise round, that's why. She critical missed her initial attack. 4 damage, another good hit, another good hit.
This is going to hurt.
So, oh, she just did 23 out of 25 possible damage. Killing me, Smalls. So she's making everything wet with her water attacks, and I'm trying to shock them. I would argue with my GM that these enemies take more damage from the electricity. Let's do a 5-foot step over here. Five-foot step over here.
Cool it.
Just murdered that guy.
Ah!
Oh no. Good hit.
Cool off.
Miss.
Ah!
Alright, you're close. Get in the melee. Miss.
Taste my fury.
Die. That's a lot of misses.
Out of my way!
The Emperor said, walking into his harem.
Run them through!
0 damage? Okay, it's gonna have to be something else.
This is going to hurt.
23 out of 25 damage to that guy.
Ah!
Confirmed hit.
Cool it. Do tell.
There we
No
go.
one stands in my way.
Green quartz, jade.
Let's move
Okay.
already.
Kalike warily looks around the area. The tower. It's destroyed. And I'm afraid. Kalike points at the ruins. A frightening gargoyle is sitting among them. Is it even a gargoyle? The jewels the monster has gathered in its nest glimmering here and there, but the brightest treasure of all is a small disc lying at its feet. It glistens white like incandescent metal, but a moment later it is covered by abysmal blackness. Then it flashes white again. The disc of the eclipse. That must be it. But how do we... The girl freezes mid-sentence, her eyes wide open, and then... You look in the eyes of a tiefling girl as she emerges from the portal, and then she raises her brow expressively. Emperor Haterius! It's such a wonderful day. And what a view! It's nice to see you again, Canera. You detect a glimmer of fear in the girl's eyes, but she quickly shakes it off and snaps her tail angrily. Let me guess. My sweet sister couldn't hold her tongue. She broke the god's orders and revealed our secret. To tell you the truth, I was sure all this would come out sooner or later, but it's nice to know I wasn't the fool who let it slip. Canera keeps silent for a few moments, contemplating her new situation, but then she smiles coyly. Tell me, Emperor Haterius, didn't we say goodbye in a luxurious banquet hall in Restov the day you received your barony? And now we're sitting all alone at the top of a cliff in some backwater, surrounded by slimy flesh-eating toads and other revolting monsters. I don't even know which question to ask first. Why or how? I guess I'm a baron of many talents. Canera rolls her eyes ostentatiously. I thought palace balls and parades were the proper entertainment for nobility, but rock climbing isn't too bad either. Your sister asked me to find an artifact. An artifact? It doesn't happen to be the disc of the eclipse, does it? Of course. It was I who first told you about it, but I imagined us sitting cozy by the fire in your castle, while your servants went off to collect it. But, oh well, an adventure it is then. But it seems our treasure been stolen by that ugly gargoyle? So what are we supposed to do now? I'm not ready to attack the gargoyle yet. Alright. This definitely calls for a save.
I'm losing my temper.
And I suppose we have to do this. I need to heal if I'm to be useful in a boss battle. That's probably why it was replaced in my inventory. Yeah, it replaced the poor cat. Yeah, I'm not gonna need the cat in the next battle.
But of course.
Let's fight it. We'll easily defeat it. Canaris squints, then nods. Lead the way. I think I can help by adding some fire to the situation.
Cut that to pieces!
So what we got here? She's a dark elementalist. Fire blast. So that's an energy. Gargoyle-like treant. 12 damage. Four damage, pretty good.
Taste my fury.
22 damage. We're gonna start backing away before he starts getting ideas. It's always good to have a hit, at least. Please don't freeze on me, game. I think it's frozen. The music's still playing, but it's frozen. Don't do this. I predict a crash is about to happen. It's only a matter of time. Alright, well, I guess that's going to be it, guys. Unfortunately, my game is frozen, and it's either going to crash or it's going to sit here. So I think I'm going to call it. This has been Emperor Haterius playing Pathfinder Kingmaker Definitive Edition on the PS4. Unfortunately, it still has some issues here and there, especially with like numbers popping up on the screen and information. There's a lot of stuff going on in this game, and sometimes my PlayStation can't handle it. So we shall resume this battle, or restart this battle, which seemed to be going pretty well. It was already almost dead in the next session. So again, sorry about this, but I have to call it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you stay tuned to the channel for more streams. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.